have a plumbing problem, you have a control problem. You gotta let go of that. Then really, it's deciding the business, is here to serve you, not the other way around. Hey, plumbing pros, welcome to the 467th episode of Potty Talk. I'm your host, Richard Behney, the $1 Million Plumber, along with my co-host, the lovely Laura. And we're getting up there, episode 467.
Thought about that a couple episodes ago. I'm like, we're going to be at 500.
Yeah. I do something, well, they're all, I was going to say something special, but they're all special.
They're all special.
Like this one. The title of this episode is The Truth About Work-Life Balance for Plumbing Business Owners.
Yes.
The old work-life balance.
Myth.
Yeah. You started your plumbing business. I don't know if it's you, but certainly with us, we started the plumbing business. I thought I'd have more, of course I was going to be working and all that, but I thought I had more control, do my own time, freedom, do the kid stuff, kind of come and go as I want and all that. But the reality was, it was very much different than what I thought it would be.
Well, because we were doing it wrong.
Yes, and that's what we're going to get into here. The odds are you're doing it wrong too. So if you're struggling with, seems like you're working all the time and your family's over here, okay.
You never see your family, or you don't get to do the things you thought you get to do.
Oh yeah, I thought I had more time to go fishing, or play golf or whatever you're into or whatever.
Vacation.
But I haven't done any of that. Okay, if that's you, and a good chance there is that it's you. Okay, stick around. You're not going to want to miss what we're going to go over here. But first, here I want you to check out this very powerful plumbing business tool that will help you grow your plumbing business. Hey, Potty Talk pros. Looking for a reliable way to order plumbing, HVAC, electrical products, and more online? Look no further than SupplyHouse.com. SupplyHouse.com is your go-to site for all your supply needs. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Shop a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from over 400 top brands. Plus, with fast shipping from coast to coast, your order will be delivered right to your door. Need help with an order? No problem. Get expert support and industry-leading service from the friendliest folks in the business. Talk to a real person every time. Pros in the skilled trades can get a competitive edge by joining SupplyHouse.com's free Trade Master program. As a Trade Master, you get access to a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Join the thousands of trade pros already benefiting from their free membership at SupplyHouse.com/TM. So, what are you waiting for? Order plumbing, HVAC, electrical supplies, and more from anywhere with just a few clicks at SupplyHouse.com. Real people, real service. That's SupplyHouse.com. All right, well, let's get out of here.
Okay.
We're talking work-life balance. And you mentioned the word myth.
It's a myth. There's no such thing.
I think that's...
We've been sold a bill of goods.
Yes. Yes, we have. That is, we are marketed as saying, not just with your plumbing business, but just this whole life thing that, work and life and, home is all, 50-50. It's not. Okay. First of all, we got to get over that. Okay.
Yes. And I know we're talking mostly to plumbing business owners and plumbers, but this is especially true for the wives running the plumbing business, because we got kids too, in all that. So yeah, we want to give you some tips that can help you kind of get over the work-life balance, but to get to the point where you do have some freedom which is probably why you started your plumbing business in the first place.
That's what we talk about. That's what we're big about here at MDP, and of course here in Potty Talk, is to help you build a thriving, self-sustaining, and very profitable plumbing business while having a life too. Right. Because it doesn't matter. I mean, we be working. I mean, it doesn't matter. Okay, if we can't have a life. Okay. So how do we go about that? Okay.
And I always say there's other coaching, business coaching and plumbing business coaching and whatever. I think MDP is the only one that has that caveat, while having a life too. This is not just about building. MDP is not just about building this big conglomerate and getting to a 50 truck company and all the grind and all the things. That is not what we're about. So if that's what you're looking for, then we might not be for you. We're about having a life too, having a great asset that helps build wealth, time, and financial for you and your family, but then to live at the same time, to have a life that you enjoy.
Exactly. So what can we do?
Yes.
Okay. Well, let me make point number one here. Okay. Point number one. Okay. You don't have a plumbing problem. You have a control problem. All right. You know, it's not that there's just, you got all this plumbing work, which you may have the work, which is good. Okay. It's not a plumbing issue. It's more of a personal issue. It's control.
Okay.
I got to do all the work. Okay.
If it's going to be,
it's up to me. Right. You know, and of course, when you started your plumbing business, if you like most, you thought you'd have more free time. You have others doing the work. You're going to build this plumbing business, have others working for you. But the reality, we get into it, and this is very real. I mean, I felt this too. It's like I want to control. You know, I'm the best plumber. I know what I want to do here. I know how I want to take care of my customers. Okay, it's a control issue, and we have to let go of that.
Yeah.
We have to let go of that. You know.
Or you own your job.
You own your job. And most plumbing, you know, with clients that we see that are even been in plumbing, you know, we have clients that have had company, you know, for 10 years, and they're still in the truck. They're still in the truck. They may have others working with, they're still in the truck. Well, their butt's still stuck in the truck, you know, and they have all kinds of excuses why they can't get out of it. But the bottom line is, it's control. Okay, it's that
You think you're the only one that can do it.
Right, and I got to be here. My customers want me. They're starting to want me and all that kind of stuff. Right.
Stop with that.
Okay.
That thing, well, my customers only want me.
Okay.
No. Okay, well then if you do that, what does that mean?
Right.
Yeah, at age 40, they still want you age 50, 60? How long, when does it stop?
Right.
Right?
Exactly. You know, so you have that. That's where, you know, you're stuck in the truck, which is a time thing. That's why, you know, now you're working all the time, and you know, that kind of a thing. But also, it's just, I'm just going to say it. You know, stupid. Okay, stupid's not. I hear the kids. Stupid's not a nice word. Well, no, it's an appropriate word. It's stupid for business because you're covering jobs. You're doing $15, $18, $20 an hour jobs. Okay, but you're a CEO of a business. Okay. You know, you're a $500 an hour person. Okay.
When you say job, you mean responsibilities.
Responsibilities.
Right.
Right.
You're doing the work that you could hire someone else at $15 an hour.
Right. So I'm answering the phones too. I'm answering the phones. I'm doing the bookkeeping. You know, those kinds of things. Okay. I'm doing all that.
Right. Because you think you're the only one that can do it.
Right.
Well, again, how's that working? I just want to ask, how's that working out for you? I mean, are you have no work-life balance, or you have no time for doing the things that you really want to do? If that's the case, then you've created this. You've created this nightmare that you're living in, right? And we get it. We get it. That's why we bring up these different topics, is kind of snap you out of it and go, man, it doesn't have to be this way. It doesn't have to be where you are a slave to your business. You own the business, not the business owning you. That's how it's supposed to be.
Well, like you've said many times, the businesses serve you, not the other way around.
Correct.
Okay. In fact, that's what we work on. That's, you know,
One of the first things.
The Success Academy is you design your life, you know, what your life you want to be, and then you create your business around that.
As opposed to the other way around. Because if you allow your business to dictate what your life's going to look like, that's just no way to live. It's not how you want it. You want to design your life, figure out what you want out of your life, and then design the business around it.
Exactly. And so you got to give up control to be able to do that. And so one way that really helped me is it just, you know, came to just the understanding and the acceptance that even on the plumber side, you know, that's usually the big issue there. That's why I got to stay in the truck and be out here near the plumbing and do all the plumbing, okay, or be around it, make sure it's being all done the way I want it. And so then I also have the guys calling me. So now I'm babysitting the guys and all that kind of stuff. And that's you're just on all the time. Okay. You have to just come to the acceptance that at best, you know, the guys are going to be 80% as good as you. And that's good.
That would be great.
That'll be great. Okay. All right. The plumbing will get done. Okay. But this isn't about, you know, if you want to plumb and you want to work all the time, go work, you know, for a plumbing business. They need good guys, okay, and then be on call all the time. Do all I mean to do, you know, do that. But
less headache.
Less headaches.
Having a plumbing business.
And your family's not at risk, you know, and in the same kind of way, okay. But that control thing is a big deal, and it's an ego thing. There's a lot there. And it's too deep to go into, you know, in a 30-minute podcast here.
We talk about that a lot in the Success Academy because it's a mindset.
It is.
It's changing you from being a plumber mindset to a business owner slash CEO.
Right.
It's a totally different mindset. I mean, if you don't grasp that, you are going to be struggling. You're definitely going to be struggling because it's totally different. Now, there's times where if you're still in the truck, your business relatively new. Yeah, you got to put on the I'm plumber in the truck hat every now and then, right? But still, at the same time, you are a CEO. You are the owner of the plumbing business, which is a totally different mindset.
Right. So, starting out here, you don't have a plumbing problem, you have a control problem. We gotta let go of that. All right. And really it's designing the business, is here to serve you, not the other way around.
100%. Yeah. I want to talk to the ladies too, that Mrs. Plumbing Business Owner. Again, you might be a plumbing power couple, you guys working together. If that's the case, man, start to delegate some of the stuff that normally falls on the wife. Right, wrong, indifferent, doesn't matter. Typically, the wife is the one who's aware of getting groceries, right? Grocery shopping, or getting the house cleaned, things like that. Don't be a superwoman. It's stupid. It's stupid to try to be a superwoman, especially if you are answering the phones, maybe doing the marketing, helping out, not helping out, wrong way to say it. That's not what I want to say. You're a part of the business and you've got responsibilities with the business and you've got kids and the kids need you and you're a mom. So kids need their mom typically in different ways and more than they need dad. So you do have a responsibility with your kids. So the things that you can let go of, like house cleaning. House cleaning is the first one. If you, plumbing business owner, wife, don't have someone coming in to clean your house at least twice a month, you're going crazy because the house needs to get cleaned. But sometimes that's the last thing that gets done, right? It's the last thing because I'm so tired and blah, blah, blah. So that's what I tell the ladies in the Success Academy. The dust bunnies and the fingerprints and the crumbs that you see all over the house, they start talking to you. Clean me. Why are you ignoring me? Clean me. Right? But you're exhausted. You don't have time. But it's there. It's taking up mind share in your mind because we're women. We're house managers. We're nurturers, things like that. So find someone in your area, it might just be a one-person cleaning company, whatever, it doesn't matter. Find someone to come in and clean your house twice a month. And here's the kicker, or here's the kicker, here's the best point, best point that I'm giving you advice on. Don't clean your house before the house cleaner comes. And I know we laugh at that, but it's so true. And I've heard the ladies in the Success Academy say, I'll be so embarrassed. I'll be so embarrassed if someone comes to my house to clean my house and it's just, a pigsty. That's their job. That's their job to clean up your pigsty stuff, right? And the first time that you have your house cleaned by someone else, maybe, you've left the house and they're cleaning, and you come home and the house is clean and there's no dust bunnies and there's no fingerprints. Oh man, just the sense of peace that comes over you. I can't describe it. So you're also, and I kind of going on too long here, sorry. Also, you're giving someone else in your community a job. That's their company. That's their job. Just like you guys own a plumbing company, there's cleaning companies out there that's their job. So support people in your community. What that does, it frees up your 3-4 hours of, cleaning house on the weekend where you can, I don't know, maybe go on a date, spend time with the kids, maybe get caught up on some things at work, whatever it might be. You're freeing up time. So you're delegating a responsibility, which is cleaning the house, to let someone else do it. And then you get to do other things, whatever it is. The other one is grocery shopping. Getting groceries delivered is just about, to me, the best thing ever. Now, some people, I'm really going on.
Well, I'm capable. Well, let's go with what we hear all the time. Well, because we've been conditioned. First of all, we're blue collar people. We're tradespeople. It's where we come from. We're used to doing things ourselves, and our pride is I can do it myself.
Oil change.
Right. I can do all right.
Mowing the lawn.
Exactly. All these kinds of things. Okay. That's just a blue collar way of thinking. It's not. It's good. Okay. But this isn't what the business needs. Okay. And this is the reason why you're struggling. The business is struggling, and the reason why you're struggling in your life or just feeling overwhelmed. And don't have any sense of balance because you're doing everything. The business demands that we get things done. But you can delegate these business activities and these personal activities, which benefits the community, giving people a job and those kinds of things. But then it's freeing you up so that you have the ability, you have more margin that, okay, the business is demanding, I need to work on this thing right now, and I now have the time to do that, or things are moving along. Now I can go to the couple of events my kids are having at the school during the day. And I can go do that. Okay, it allows you to do that. And who pays for it? That's the concern is, well, I can, by doing it myself, I'm saving the money. No, you're not.
You're not.
Okay, it's costing you money. By doing it yourself, it's costing you money.
Yes.
And in all these other areas. But your customer pays for everything, including, I mentioned,
Not building our hourly rate.
right, not having the like a CSR. Like I can answer the phone. Well, I can answer the phone and be like, well, no, you're the worst person to be answering the phone. Well, I can't afford to have someone answering the phone. Yeah, you can. Your customer pays for that. It's built into your hourly rate. Okay. Well, even getting the house cleaned is built in to your hourly rate. Okay. The customer pays for everything. That's how it works in all other businesses, by the way.
100%.
And everything. Okay. You need to do it too. All right. Okay.
Delegate some things that you can delegate. Find a way to delegate because your business needs you to do the things only you can do, which is growing and scaling the business, marketing and recruiting.
Exactly. Okay.
Okay.
Good point. All right.
I know.
Hey, point number 2. Okay. If it's not on the calendar, it doesn't exist. Okay. So what we were talking about was setting up these meetings, when you're delegating or like you go into the kids meeting, you need to have event or whatever. That needs to be on your calendar. Okay.
Things like planning meetings,
Planning meetings, right. You should have a weekly planning meeting.
especially a plumbing power couple.
Right.
Then you guys need to have a weekly planning meeting. We really drill this home in the Success Academy with our clients. Planning meeting in that you can plan for the growth of the business, not just, hey, did you pay this invoice and what about this customer job or whatever. No, it's planning long-term strategy for your business. And those are important. And those need to be on the calendar. Date night as another one, right?
Right.
And as we're talking work-life balance, I'm using air quotes. Get back to date night, guys. And you've heard us say it a million times, but it's so important. But it needs to be on the calendar. You need to have it planned out because it might not be you're in the season of life where you can do Friday night date night. You've got little kids or whatever it might be. So it might be a Thursday while they're at school or a Tuesday lunch or whatever it might be. Doesn't matter. It needs to be a time where you guys go and do something that you love to do as a couple, so you can kind of escape and remind yourself. Oh yeah,
That's
my
right.
spouse. I do like doing things with you. I forgot.
Exactly. And it's just like the jobs. So they need to be scheduled. Okay. And that's just something we do. I didn't do it. In fact, it just seems so weird. I just didn't think that way or do that, just not that way. So I get it. Okay. But you got to put it on the calendar. It has to be part of the system. Okay.
Of your life. And you need to have a shared calendar as well. So ladies, you might be the one that needs to make that happen. Google Calendar is the best way to do it. It's so freaking easy. And if you don't know how to do it, just go out and how to create shared Google Calendars. So and can plan what's coming up as far as, kids' doctor's appointments or different meetings you might have or whatever, but you're both looking at the calendar and the same information together. Because what happens is, Johnny's got a 2:00 dentist appointment and I thought you were going to do it. I thought you were going to do it. I can't do it because I've got blah. Well, I can't do it. Yeah. So having a calendar that's shared where you're both aware and you're going over it together eliminates those problems.
Right. Exactly. And it also comes down to just starting your day too, and how you start your day, and, as we preach and we should always talk about starting each day up early, okay, before everybody else, okay, have a time of quiet time. And we throw in there what we call your GPS, okay, where you're reminding yourself every morning, okay, who you are, where I'm going, right? I am this. I have this. Even before you are, you have, okay? I have a 5-truck plumbing business. I'm just starting out, but you're writing that down, okay?
Affirmation statements.
All right. I take my family on trips 4 times a year, okay? You write that down so that when the day hits you, which it will, as soon as you get into the day, you leave the quiet of your home or your coffee or whatever you're starting out with, okay, everything's going to hit the fan. You know it, right? And then we just pulled we're pulled every which way. So if it's not on our calendar and we haven't reminded ourselves every morning, who we are and where we're headed, then everything else is going to take over and take control.
Crowd pits the fan, and what happens when it hits the fan? It gets all over you.
Yes. It doesn't go over, it gets all over you.
all over
Exactly right. And sadly, that's what's happening a lot
That's
out
what I
there.
was talking too about getting up early. Especially before the kids get up, right? But getting up early, you can control your morning. You can decide how your morning goes really by the night before. Stop the scroll holing, until 10:30, 11 o'clock, midnight, whatever it might be. Stop that, because the more you do that, then the more you're not going to be rested. You're going to sleep in. You're going to hit the snooze alarm about 15 times, and then when you finally roll out of bed, it's like, oh man, I'm running late. I got to get moving. I got to go, and then your day just totally controls you at that point.
Right.
You are the one that can control your morning. You can control your morning. So taking that seriously, and then okay, well, I've got to be intentional about what time I go to bed. I got to be intentional about setting an alarm that goes off. And if you're a snooze person, put the alarm in the bathroom. Put the phone and the alarm in the bathroom, or something that forces you to get up.
Right. It's built. It's by action. The work-life balance is built. Okay. It's not hoped for. And then when we started our plumbing businesses, I mean, that's what we had this vision, and we hope this is what we're going to achieve and do and be and all that kind of stuff. That's hope. Okay. And then we got into it and everything hits the fan. And now we're just, we feel like we're at the whim of everything. Okay. All right. No, we have to be intentional. Right. It is. You got to be intentional to build your work-life balance. Okay. And it's not always going to be 50-50. Okay. But you can control, okay, now it does need to be 80 this way. Okay. Now I can make it 80 this way. That kind of, you can control that.
Right.
Okay.
It's up to you. Again,
Right.
Being intentional about it.
Exactly.
And these aren't mind-blowing revelations, right? This. Especially now you own a plumbing business, I need to be up before so that I can get my mind right. I can get focused, and I don't feel like I'm, just bolting out the door at the last minute. And those are easy things to do. And I was going to say not simple, but really they are. They're simple and easy. They really are. You just have to make the mindset, the mind shift to be able to do it.
Exactly. And it's not that I'm getting up early out of the workman's idea. Well, it's my shop, so I got to be the first guy in the shop. It's not that. It's you're up early so that you're thinking on your life, your day, and purposefully being intentional about what am I looking to do today, to get done today before everything hits the fan. So it's not to say to be the first guy in the shop.
No.
Okay, it's just being up and at it.
Right.
Okay, and being intentional. That is a good word. It's just taking action. Okay, and he's right. These aren't
shattering.
Epiphany type things. It's just that we don't think about just not doing it. Okay, the plumbing. It's not that the plumbing's overtaking you. You just are in control. You're just trying to keep control of everything.
Right.
Okay. All right. And it's not that you're missing out on things or just you're not making a priority. You're not putting them on the calendar. Okay. You're not systemizing it. Okay. So that you can respond to these kinds of things. Okay. And then finally, the thing which is all leading towards.
I want to talk about, I think that's a good nugget that you have. Your calendar tells the truth about your priorities. So as we're talking about having things on the calendar, your calendar tells the truth about what your priorities are. So what are your priorities? Again, you decide what those priorities are. You decide.
Right. And they can change. Okay. Guys, don't feel guilty, especially the guys. Guys, this thing of us, you don't have to be at your kids every practice. Okay. In fact, any real man is not at his kids' practice. Okay. I'm just gonna say that.
This is practice.
That's a societal, social thing. That's the society trying to separate you from what you should be doing is out hunting, gathering, killing, food. Yeah, bringing the food home. Okay, that's that's what your job is, your responsibility, not being at the kids' practice. Now, yes, you want to support the kids and be at the games and that kind of a thing. Okay, and so, but there may be a time where the priority does change to be at the practice because the son he's really been working on something and he has a fear for this and I've been supporting him. So for this period of time, I'm going to be at the practices just to kind of so we can talk about it, whatever that. So I'm not saying that there's never priorities can change. Okay,
but let your kid be.
Well,
let your kid be at practice and figure some things out.
I know
for himself.
we get into
That's a whole other thing.
right.
Like, okay, Stop being the helicopter parent that feels the need to be at every single practice. No, let them figure it out. The coach is there. Let him do his job. Let him get your kid a good soccer player, baseball, whatever it might be. You don't need to be there cheering them on from the side. Give them the freedom, the kids the freedom to have some independence from you. So anyway.
Right, and have to take abuse from the wrong coach or feel like it's not fair and all that. I mean, that's why we have all this. That's a whole nother. That's all kinds of different kind of stuff.
I'm sorry.
Okay, but priorities can change. Certain times your business is going to demand, and guys, it is your responsibility. It may take that you're 100% here, and ladies, wives, get over it. Okay, the men aren't meant to be carrying the babies around and all that kind of
being every practice
and all that. Now, I will say, you brought this up, and the guys hear me on this. If you and your wife are in business together, okay, and you run the business, it's both yours, okay, you're a plumbing power couple, all right, she's working on stuff too, and still has in her more priorities, usually the children, the caregiver and all that. But the reality of it is, those traditionally, things may have to shift. Okay, so you may be the one doing the dishes because she's worked all day too, and her mind's been on the business and doing stuff.
Or the laundry,
right? Or you may do the laundry. That happened in our house. To this day, I do the ironing. That comes from. I mean, it's just a little. Traditionally, my age, the ladies, the wives did all the ironing, did all the housework. Guys, we didn't do that. We did the outside stuff. Whatever. Okay, but no, you're in business together. Okay, so. Things can change, but you need to talk that out.
Yes,
and it also going to depend on the priorities of the time, who's responsible. Like you mentioned, taking the kids to a doctor appointment. You're both at the office, okay? And normally, moms wind up taking kids, at least our age generation, okay? And I think it's rightfully so. It's just how it is. I think it should be that way.
Us wives no questions to ask at the doctor.
It's women. It's natural. It's the way God made it. Okay. However, you may at times you're at the office and we're at a time of the month or whatever, accounting wise, where you really got to get things in. It's busy, and a kid has a dentist appointment. Well, my job's I got to take them,
right?
Because you're working on something that's more of a priority right there. So traditionally, that's you got to be fluent with that. Okay.
That's having that communication together. Yeah. And that's when we talk about planning meetings as you're looking at your upcoming week or whatever it might be, really communicating together who's responsible for what and nailing down, okay, who's doing the stuff at home, who's doing the dishes, who's planning the meals, who's doing the laundry. All of that needs to be talked out because if not, it's going to typically fall on the ladies. It just, for whatever reason, it just does. Us ladies think about it. We realize what needs to be done. It's not in the man's front of mind. It just isn't. It's how we're wired. So anyway, communicating is the best way.
And those weekly meetings are on the calendar weekly.
Yes.
Okay. Just because you're in the office talking to each other, that's not a meeting. Okay. It's right. It's on the calendar. Okay. Which brings it to the bottom line. Okay. And it's this: stop being the hero. Okay. Stop being the hero. Build a team. That's how you're going to grow a thriving, self-sustaining, okay, and very profitable plumbing business and have a life too, okay?
Most important.
You got to stop being the hero. I will tell you down the road, if you do this right, you'll be the rock star when you come in because you have other people doing, now you're not doing this stuff and you're known as the owner, okay? And, when you show up, it's, Richard's here, and so, but you got to stop being the hero where you're the master of every little thing and
your fingerprint on everything.
Right. Okay. You got to build a team. You got to put the team together. Okay. And then you got to trust the team and you got to let them go.
Yep.
Okay. That's why we work on, with our clients in the Success Academy. One of the first things we start pushing too is we get the systems and everything in place. We want to go on a long weekend, which means they take a Thursday, Friday, or Friday, some time off, 4-day weekend, right? At first, I mean, we're always pushing for longer time, but just to get away out, and so they just get used to being and let the team work. Who's ever, if you just had one plumber or whatever, and someone just one answering the phones, just let them work, okay? And then see that, okay, I come back, hey, still got a business. And what you'll find is a lot of times those are like record days,
And everything works better without you.
Right. okay, which is good, okay, and then we go longer. But even if we find something, we want to take those times anyways to find out what's not working. We find holes, okay, okay. And just because there's a hole, something doesn't work, doesn't mean okay, now I got to do. See, that's why I got to do everything myself.
Nope.
Yeah.
No, that's why you want to take time off. Take a nice long weekend. Take Thursday and Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Be gone, and not answering the phones. And then when you come back, see what broke. Okay, what broke? And you're looking back and look at the jobs. See how did the jobs go? How all your systems, how did everything run? More than likely, especially in the beginning, you're going to find something that didn't work the way you'd hoped it would, or that you've trained or whatever. So then okay, somewhere there's a break in my communication with my staff. Somewhere they didn't realize they should have done this. I've trained them to do this, but they didn't do this. So somewhere I've not communicated well that this needs to be done. And so you plug that hole, you plug that leak. And then you take another vacation, the next month or the next quarter, whatever it might be, and then see what breaks and realize, okay, there's something else that I didn't realize is happening. That's the best way to really test your systems. And man, when you do take the time to have a 4-day weekend, take the 4-day weekend, take it and relax, take it, and even your mind, do whatever it is you're planning on doing. Whether you're going away, you and husband and wife are going away together. Take that time and just enjoy it. I'm not thinking, oh man, what's happened back at the shop? Things are probably falling apart. I wonder if we got this job done. I wonder if Joe showed up to work and blah, blah, blah. Man, just let it go. It'll be there when you get back and you'll realize what worked and what didn't work. So take the time. If you're going to take the time, really take the time and enjoy it.
Right. If they're calling you, guys are calling you while you're away, then okay, I still got too much control.
Yep.
Okay, it's your fault, by the way. It's not theirs.
Right, 100%
It's all your fault.
Because you allowed it.
Right. If you have to be in the business every day, it owns you. Okay, you don't own it. It owns you. Okay, you're its slave. Okay, you are not free.
Not why you started your business.
Exactly. At least I don't believe that's why you started your business, is it? if I'm wrong, okay, please write in the comments. No, I started my business so I could be a slave to it and work all the time.
I'll say a prayer for you.
Yeah. Please help this stupid person.
Please help this person stop that. And in the Success Academy, which I know we'll kind of get into here, but in the Success Academy, we've got a whole module on the freedom lifestyle. What does it look like to have a freedom lifestyle, and things that you can put into place that allows that? Again, we think we're the only ones that talk about while having a life too, because it's important. Your life is important. And so we've got a whole module, tons of videos that talks about all the different things on how to plan for and achieve the freedom lifestyle, which I just love.
Right. Because it's just not worth having. Look, if you want to work all the time, go be a plumber and work all the time for another plumbing business. Okay, it'd be a lot less risk on your family, right? It's not why you're in business though. Okay, is to be working all the time. So you got to give up that control. Okay, it ain't the plumbing fault. Okay, all right, it's your fault. You got to give up that control. Okay, and then it's mark these things on the calendar. Get it on the calendar. All right, if it's not on the calendar, it ain't happening. And then just stop being the hero of having to take care of everything and coming in to save the day. Even on the jobs, this is what's going to kill you. I'll give you one. Okay. Well, what's hard? Okay, and you'll get this. You got your guys on a job, and it's going back. He don't know what he's doing all the way. Okay, don't go out there and save him. Let him figure it out. Don't even tell him how to figure it out. You got to let your guys fail. Okay, and then figure it out, and then you can use that as a teaching moment. That letting them fail and then using that as a teaching moment will go a longer way in helping that tech become a better tech and build their confidence and make you money. The other way of you coming in, well, let me tell them exactly how to do it, or showing up on the job and
move out of the way,
right? That kind of thing. All right, is killing you. But that will be. In fact, that's what I want you to do. Since you've heard this podcast, okay, the next job, okay, if you're out there and you got a guy that's out there and he calls you for something to do, I'm gonna hear this and I got a problem, and it could be, and it's big, and you're just like, oh man, he's gonna okay. If what I'm thinking here, okay? Just tell him, hey Joe, you got it, man. You know what to do. Just take your time, figure it out. You got it. I believe in you.
Lick.
And then let it do it, okay? And see what happens.
There's a famous saying that teach Give the man a fish and he eats for a day. Teach the man to fish and he eats for a lifetime, right? So if you're constantly just giving him fish, you're constantly going to have to fish for him. Or if you teach him how to fish, how to catch the fish, and then he's independent and he can eat for a lifetime.
Right, and this time, you're teaching him how to think for himself.
Right.
It's like our kids. Your kid comes in the middle of the night. The first time your kid cries, you go to. First kid's always the toughest because as soon as they cry, you're right at them. You're right at them. You're right on. And they own you. It'd be the same thing, okay? But as you get more kids, all of a sudden you let them cry, and the kid figures out how to cry. Comfort himself, soothe himself, okay? Even when we come in the middle of the night. We didn't have our kids sleep with us all night long,
No,
It's
never.
like fun, calm down, They get used to walking back to their bedroom on their own. They get used to that. They comfort themselves.
All three of our children are very independent for that very reason, which is
Well,
great.
they're not even necessarily independent. They're able, in today's they say independent, you're able to take care of yourself. So they're not looking for puppies to hold like you. I'm upset, and that kind of, I'm scared. What's going to happen? Okay. All right. It's because, all right.
Train them.
Yes.
Okay.
Your texts are the same way.
Yes.
All right. Hey, if you're looking for more training, okay, I got some free training for you. All right, in my school community group. All right, I have free trainings there. There's coaching's available. Okay, a community.
Communities all there.
Right.
In school, which is a relatively new platform, and we've got a brand new school community, and school is spelled wrong, but it's spelled, it's spelled SKOOL, school. And we've got a great platform out there where you can get additional free training. There's tons of free training out there. There's a community of other plumbing business owners just like you looking to grow and scale their plumbing business and other resources. So all you need to do is go to milliondollarplumber.com/school, SKOOL, and just click the join now button and you can join for free.
All right. Hey, but if you're just ready to just get at it, okay, not looking to do it myself any longer here. I want to get more fuel. Okay, I need help figuring out, right now, how can I get my work-life balance taken care of?
Yep.
Okay, and other systems, and everything that your plumbing business needs in order to be, thriving, self-sustaining, able to run without you. Okay, that's systems. Okay, work-life balance. Okay. Very profitable plumbing business while having a life too, and you're just ready to get at it. Well, then I'm ready to talk. Okay, let's talk. All right, simply go to milliondollarplumber.com/call, CALL. All right, and schedule your talk. Okay, and we'll just have a conversation about where your plumbing business is at, what's standing in your way, maybe too much control. Okay, all right, that kind of a thing. Whatever it is for you. Okay, and then we'll get you on a plan, point you in the right direction. Okay. Well, there we go. Okay. This is good. Work-life balance. Okay. Bottom line, there's no such thing as work-life balance. Okay. All right. But you can control without being overly in control. Okay. Well, what you're focused on. Okay. It's good stuff. All right. But before I let you go, as always, I want to remind you that you were purposefully, wonderfully created, and you were created to do great things. So plumb like a champion.